Hello, my name is Samuel Lafave. Today I will be talking about personification and explaining what it is and what it does. What is a personification? Before we start, we see two words. We see the words person and action, which is basically what it is. It is when an object or animal is given the trait or action of a human. It is a type of figure of speech. It is also a literary speech similar to imagery and metaphor. Imagery is basically just to add pictures in your mind using the five senses to help better understand what's happening. And metaphor is basically just exaggerating and to make it more interesting. Why do we write them? The purpose of personification is to bring objects and things to life, to better explain them, to add details, and to make it more interesting and enjoyable. It helps to create pictures in your mind and connects between the readers and the story. Basically, it adds details and helps readers understand more clearly. How do we write it? The best way to write it is by giving the object or animal an action of a human, as if you're describing a human itself instead of the object. Here are some examples. The lightning danced across the sky. Clearly, lightning cannot dance, but it's trying to say that it went across the sky and was everywhere, and it was also beautiful. The pie was calling my name. Clearly, pie cannot talk, but it's trying to say the pie was tempting to eat. My alarm yelled at me this morning. In this case, we are giving the alarm an action of a human. Clearly, alarms cannot yell at you. It means it was very loud and hard to not hear. The car complained as the ignition was roughly turned. The car cannot complain, but it means it was a rough start. Now we will be talking about prophetic fallacy. What is it? Prophetic fallacy is when you give emotions and moods to objects and animals. It is often used for weather and nature. It is a type of figure of speech. It is a literary speech similar to imagery and metaphor. Imagery is basically just to add pictures with your five senses, and metaphor is basically just exaggerating. Why do we write it? We write it to add details and to make it more interesting and enjoyable. It makes it easy to understand and create pictures in your mind. And it is all basically the same reasons as personification. How do we write it? We write it similar to personification, but by giving an object or animal an emotion or mood of a human instead of an action. Here are some examples. The clouds look so sad. Clearly, clouds cannot have emotions, but is meaning the clouds look very dark and depressing. The cruel wind blew past us. Clearly, wind cannot be cruel or mean, but is meaning the wind was quick and strong. The rainbow happily shined across the sky, meaning it was bright and made you in a good mood. What are the differences between personification and prophetic fallacy? To start off, personification is when you give an object or animal an action, but prophetic fallacy is when you give an object or animal mood or emotions. It is commonly used to describe the nature and the weather. When to use them. You should use them when you want to make a better connection between the reader and the story. You should also use it when you want to add details to the story. How to know which to use. Usually you should describe prophetic fallacy to describe nature and weather because it's more clear. And personification is used for pretty much anything else, like objects and animals. Here are some tips and tricks. Try putting yourself in the shoes of both the reader and the object. Also imagine their emotions in that place and time. Describe the animals based off their personality. Also, write it like if you're describing to a man who doesn't have his five senses, or to someone who wasn't there and is clueless. Now you are an expert in personification and prophetic fallacy. Thank you for listening.